What's going on, you guys? It's Cody Steck. We're back with another video. Today we're talking about part 3 on closing on the duplex that I have had under contract for the last little while. Well, we finally closed on the property. If you've been following this story and you've watched the 2 previous videos, you will know that we ran into some snags on the inspection. We needed the roof to get replaced, and then we also ran into some snags on the appraisal side as well. The appraisal came in at $283,000, even though we had it under contract for $290,000. So what did we do? Well, at that time I left it off. I wasn't sure how it was going to shake out, but here's what ended up happening. We actually negotiated the price down to $285,000, which was $2,000 more than the appraised price. And so the way it shook out is that I had to add in an extra $1,000 above and beyond on my cash to close in order to get this deal done. So overall, I mean, that was something that I was happy to do. I wasn't too upset about that because it was actually going to work out in my favor to be able to complete this deal. I figured, hey, if I can get $5,000 off what I first agreed to pay for the property and only have to pay $1,000 more at closing, then that's something I definitely want to do. So for me, it actually worked out for the best. It also dropped my payment by about $25, and I was able to get the deal finally wrapped up and closed. So we went through that process, we got it closed, we started advertising the property before we even closed because we wanted to get tenants in there right away. We were going to close on the property just in about the middle to end of October, and we wanted to have it filled by the beginning of November, which we were able to accomplish. So there's another story coming on that I'm going to tell you here in just a second, so make sure to stay tuned. But before I lose that train of thought, I just want to talk about some of the repairs that we had to do on the property. So we got some bids on the roof. We're not going to actually take care of that until next summer because I think we can get through this winter with the current roof that's on there, but it does need to be done, and that's going to cost us about $5,300 when we get to that point. So I think we'll get through this winter okay with the current roof that's there, but there was some other things that we needed to take care of sooner than later so that we could get the tenants moved in. So this included changing door locks, changing garage keypads, changing the clickers, changing some light bulbs, doing a deep clean on the property, and just some general maintenance like that. So we got all that set up right away, and like I said, we'd started advertising it. We got some people interested in the upstairs unit right away. I mean, this is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, fully remodeled place, so I expected to go quickly, and sure enough, it did. I had over 100 people actually apply for this, or at least inquire about it, and I probably had at least 10, 15, maybe even 20 applications. I don't know the exact number because I got so overwhelmed with how many there were, but I had a ton of people inquire about it and a lot of registered applicants that I could choose from. So it worked out great that I was able to go through the list and find an applicant that best fit what I was looking for and actually offer the place to them. So they came and looked at it, and they loved it right away. Of course, you know, they'd already seen the video walkthrough and the 3D scan that we had done on the property, and they loved it and said, yep, let's move forward. So we rented that place for $1,275 for the upstairs unit, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. The downstairs is a little bit different of a story. So we started advertising that place as well. It's a studio, so we're only offering it for rent at $725 per month. And this is a unique situation because we actually had somebody come in who wanted to rent it, and they looked at it and they said, okay, this is something that I'm interested in, but can you do these 3 things that we need to change? I said, yeah, no problem. We did those things. Then they came back for a second showing to actually see if they wanted to rent it after we did those things. And they said, okay, yeah, everything looks good, we'll take it. Well, then they start to move in and they start listing off all these other things that they wanted to actually get taken care of. And I just said, look, you know, you've seen the property twice. It's a small space. It's only $725. We're not going to fix all of these things that don't need to be done, honestly. It's, you know, it's not like I'm over here being a slumlord or anything like that. It just was items that didn't need to be fixed, you know? And so I said, I'm not going to do that, right? You saw what the condition was when you moved in, and those are not things I'm going to do. So, I mean, for instance, it was like, you know, adjusting the cabinet or some built-in drawers that were there that didn't close all the way or that were a little bit slanted or something like that. You know, I mean, it's just like, I'm not going to fix that. It is what it is, and it's an older place and it's a cheap place. So anyway, I just said, look, after a while, I just said, you either take the place as it is, or if you don't want to rent it, you know, if these are not things that you're happy with, that's okay. You know, I'll refund your money. You can move out, and we'll just cancel, you know, where we're at, right? So they ended up doing that. They said, yep, that's fine. You know, we're going to cancel, and good luck. So I refunded the money. We split ways, and here we go. We carry on. So we actually found a new tenant that was able to move in a couple days later. It was a very well qualified tenant, and somebody who I think is actually going to be a little bit better for the space, just a little bit more easygoing. I know the place has some issues, but you know, this is just the way that things go with rentals. It's a $725 a month place. It's not going to be perfect, you know, so you get what you pay for, unfortunately. But anyways, I got 2 tenants in there, and I want to talk a little bit about the numbers as well on this deal, because I think that's probably the thing that you're actually curious about. What is my final cash on cash return? What did I have to put into this deal, and how much cash flow am I going to be able to pull out of it each and every month? So like I said, we were able to rent the top unit for $1,275 per month and the basement unit for $1,725 $1,025 per month. This meant that our total rents for the month are $2,000 between the two units, and our total payment on this place is just over $1,200. It's $1,206 actually. So we're creating almost $800 a month in cash flow. I'm billing all of the utilities back to the tenant, so I'm not paying for internet, I'm not paying for cable, electricity, gas, sewer, water, garbage, none of that. All of that is paid for by the tenants. So my only out-of-pocket cost is the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, and of course any maintenance that's on the property. So when I talk about, hey, we're almost getting $800 a month in cash flow, that's before any CapEx, that's before any repairs, any vacancy, anything like that. But that's how I like to run my numbers, just because I think it's a little bit easier to calculate up front and be able to hit my goals that I have in mind based on those calculations. So because of this, that's $800 a month. Let's just say that that's what it is, based to make it a round number for us. That's going to be $9,600 a year, and that's going to give me about a 14.4% cash on cash return based on how much I had to put into the property. My final cash to close for this deal was about $66,500, plus or minus a little bit for some repairs, some closing costs, my commission. I mean, just kept factoring all that in, it gets a little bit messy, but let's just say it was roughly $66,500, and based on the $9,600 per year that I'm going to be bringing in, that's where I get that 14.4% cash on cash return. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to put away a lot of that money to be able to pay for the roof when it comes around and comes due for replacement next year. But for me, again, that's one of those things that I'm okay with paying. It's going to cut into my return. You know, my return might only be, 6-7% next year, but then I'm going to have a roof that's going to be brand new, and we'll be able to sustain the property for the next 30 years. This is a property that I plan on holding for the long term, so I'm not too upset about having to put this money into it. And besides, I'm only going to increase the value in this property. I could see this property being worth easily $350, maybe even $400 in the next 15-20 years. Now, that's a long way out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to be happy with this deal. $800 a month in cash flow. That's awesome. That's more than enough to pay for my Tesla. That's more than enough to pay for an awesome vacation. I mean, that's 10 grand a year. I can do a lot of things with that. So anyway, guys, this is a quick update on part 3, closing of the duplex. I hope this was helpful for you. This is just a little mini series. I just wanted to walk you through the process of how I go about buying a deal and how I go through this myself. So if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up here on the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about real estate, money, and investing. This is something I absolutely love talking about, and I'd love to see you here on future videos. So with that said, I'll catch you in the next one.